It is a huge headline, and it is shaking up the Walt Disney Company, legacy news media, entertainment, the legal community, and more. Disney, Bob Iger, ABC News, George Stephanopoulos, they're giving money to Donald Trump. Lawsuit settled, video of excellence on the way. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we as ever endeavor to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve, and by golly, when it intersects with politics, well, we're there. Folks, as we get ready to dive into today's content, consider clicking the like button and we'll get started. We want to show you why now we can surmise that The View has been so careful, having Sunny Hostin read legal clarification after legal clarification, even 4 times during a single show at one point. To give you an example of this, we'll show it right now to you, although you may have seen these sorts of clips before. Here is an example, and then we'll get to the big news. $15 million being paid by Disney to President Donald Trump.
I see you. I see you over there.
I have a very quick statement.
Yes, it's not going to be that quick.
She looks so happy. You know what? The executives at Disney probably look like this today.
Pete Hegseth has denied any wrongdoing. His lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit. No charges were ever brought.
We'll pause there, folks, and we'll get to the news now. All right, breaking late yesterday. And here we are this morning with it. Out of Reuters, ABC to pay $15 million to Trump Library to settle lawsuit, court documents show. Let me fix some things about the Reuters headline that you need to know. Take away the word ABC and put the word Disney there, because that's accurate, because ABC is owned by Disney. Take away the word library from Trump, and I think you'll have a lot more sense there as well. Yes, they're going to be paying a particular set of money as part of the settlement to one of Trump's endeavors, that would be the presidential library in the future, but it's essentially Trump, and this was settled with Trump, President Trump. Now, folks, we're not here to take a political side or viewpoint. I won't belabor the point, but I just want to say that this is a huge deal, not just for Disney, but for journalism, because up until this point, they have managed to say many awful and terrible things about this man, and you may agree or disagree with those things, but he has been rather defenseless in terms of the legal ramifications and the legal remedies for those statements. No more. Now he is winning against Disney. And would you look at that? Down here, not in the headline, but admittedly inside Walt Disney Company. ABC News has agreed to give $15 million to U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's presidential library to settle a lawsuit over comments that anchor George Stephanopoulos, who, by the way, I believe is probably a Democratic Party operative. He has been in the past. Made on air involving the civil case brought against Trump by writer E. Jean Carroll, a court document filed on Saturday showed. Now, what had Stephanopoulos said? Well, we can't say it here on YouTube because it's so awful and terrible, yet they can say it on the networks. Essentially, Stephanopoulos said that President Trump had been found guilty of doing something heinous against a woman. And that is not true. And because he said such an obviously untrue thing, a settlement has now been reached. And it is not for a little amount of money. And by the way, folks, not only that, but we're about to get to the fact that Disney employees and ABC employees are furious that Disney settled this, despite the fact that Disney had no real choice, we don't believe. Otherwise, they would have never settled it. And can you just say in the 2 years that we've been doing this channel now, we'll hit the 2-year mark, January 1st. In the 2 years we've been doing this channel, how many times has Disney lost in these legal battles? Like, that Disney World thing is a big deal, but they continue to lose over and over. It says, we are pleased that the parties have reached an agreement to dismiss the lawsuit on the terms in the court filing, an ABC News spokesperson said in a statement. That's an odd way of saying we're pleased that we're paying $15 million and the other side is doing nothing except accepting it. The lawsuit cites a March 10th interview with U.S. Representative Nancy Mace. And in that, of course, Stephanopoulos made an assertion that was absolutely inaccurate, untrue. And by the way, I would say that there are quite a few people out there now who have said similar things, who are in that elite, quote unquote, sphere. And they've got to be feeling a little bit shaky about this because this sets precedent. Yashar Ali over on X says ABC News talent and staff I've been talking to over the past few hours are stunned and furious about this settlement. By the way, Disney would not settle. I continue to assert this is Disney, not ABC News. ABC News is a division. It is a subsidiary of Disney Television, which is a subsidiary of the Disney company. Now, Disney would not settle unless they thought they were going to lose and lose badly. A settlement means that they're taking something, a punishment that is less than what would be handed down to them by a judge or a jury. And Disney has decided clearly that this is the more prudent way to go, even though it's a PR disaster for them. Their anger, referring again to the ABC News talent and staff, i.e. Disney employees, their anger primarily stems from the fact that they have faced repeated budget and compensation cuts in recent years, experienced layoffs, and yet the network, even if insurance paid it, has paid this huge sum of money to settle this matter. Well, because they were going to lose, because they made obviously, blatantly, flagrantly false statements about someone, and finally it's been called out and said, no, you can't do that, and so they decided, well, we'll pay it. And oh, by the way, the reason that you're facing repeated budget and compensation cuts and layoffs and all that is because your ratings are terrible. Because nothing that has been done has saved you because you seem to struggle greatly with the truth, not only in this, but also in other areas. And that is why, by the way, I believe that you've seen this out of the New York Post by Andrew Court. The View hosts forced to issue 4 legal notes in a single episode spent trashing Trump's cabinet picks. This was back November 23rd, and people were wondering, well, why is Disney suddenly beholden to being honest and forcing these ladies to put out these legal statements on air during the episode, taking away time when they could be sliming people, which is what they, well, tend to do. And why, folks? Why do we now know that this was happening? Well, it seems to me that Disney knew they were going to have to settle. And because they were going to have to settle, it seems to me that Disney knew they don't want to settle anymore. $15 million is not a little amount of money. And guess what? They don't want to continue doing that. Imagine if Disney had 3, 4, 5, 6 more of these lawsuits landing. You're talking about $100 million very quickly that could be adding up in paying back for their falsehoods and misstatements and mistruths. Lies even, one might assert, although I would never do such a thing. But they could be facing significant pay that they would have to give to people that I believe Disney views as their political enemies. And this could also point to a future where Disney wants to moderate, not necessarily because Disney has changed their ways or their minds, but rather because it gives them some sort of legal defense that they can say, well, we're not biased at all. Look, we employ this person, and we put them in front of TV. And, by the way, can I just say this as we get ready to wrap? It's a short one, I know, but it's the truth, and we're putting the facts out there for you, and you'll go with this and analyze it as such as you feel is necessary, prudent, and wise. But I just want to say as we get ready to wrap up today on a short one, Gina Carano. Who would have ever thought that Disney would settle and pay Trump $15 million, right? You would have thought they would have fought him, battled him all the way to the bitter end. But they don't. When they're stuck, when they're losing, when they've lost, they give up. Same thing in Florida, by the way, with that bill. Remember that? $1 trillion, by the way, penalty Disney's going to take over the next century with Walt Disney World because of that. Some people say they'll never be able to settle with Gina. They'll never cave. They'll never bring her back to Star Wars. They'll never do the things she's asking. Au contraire, I say. After this, if they will cave to Orange Man Bad, if they will issue an apology, which they did, if George Stephanopoulos, ABC, and Disney, if they will come crawling on their hands and knees and say, please settle with us, President Trump, I don't think Gina is too far a stretch to say, once they know the goose is cooked, then they'll be more than happy to cough up whatever it takes to get Gina to say, yeah, I think you've learned your lesson. Now, do I want to go into discovery? You bet. Do I want to see Kathleen Kennedy's emails? You bet. Do I want to find out how Leslie Headland, former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, was working with Lucasfilm and perhaps other organizations to sabotage Gina Carano's career, which is alleged in the lawsuit? You bet. But it's starting to look like Disney might be willing to do anything and everything to settle some of these things. And it's starting to look like the legal system is moving in the direction of helping moderate companies, not just Disney, but other Hollywood companies and news organizations. Look out, because this could be the first domino. When the big one, the big cheese, the big mouse drops on its knees, other companies, well, they might say, please, don't sue. We'll just fix it for you. Folks, you can help fix this video. Send it to the stratosphere and help people know exactly what's happened by clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it and stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. And of course, drop a comment right on down below. Let us know your thoughts and join a community dialogue. For a mind is a terrible thing to waste, and waste not yours. Folks, if you're a member of this channel at the second level or higher, you can join in a very special Club 23 presentation, a live stream exclusive for higher level members of the channel this evening. If you're watching this video at the time of release, it'll be at Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern. We'd love to have you there. Folks, until the next time, we have the honor, the joy, the privilege, and the responsibility, which we take seriously, of spending time with you. We wish you well. Keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Wilson, you know you're not allowed in the kitchen. And, it smells like burning dog hair. What are you doing in here?
Well, I got a DM from Slade Wilson on how to roast Jonas. I mean, I didn't bother reading it, because I already have the perfect plan.
Wait a minute. So you're challenging Slade?
Well, not really. It's more like what Kathleen Kennedy and Kevin Feige do to Disney. A tag team of destruction. Plus, we're also making sure that everyone knows to subscribe to WDW Pro this Christmas.
Well, I appreciate you helping Pro, but doing one good thing does not make up for both of you doing a bad thing. Pro's making sure everyone gets accurate information and stays ahead of the culture curve, but, oh man, what is that smell? You're not really...
Oh, yeah, no, I'm literally roasting Jonas in the oven. I mean, I was kind of confused on where you were going with that line of questioning in the first place.
Roasting someone's a figure of speech. You don't actually cook them. Somebody! Oh my! Hang on, Jonas! Well, I hope you're happy about what you've done this Christmas, Wilton. You almost ended Jonas.
Well, on the brighter side, he looks great with that new tan. I guess you could say I gifted him a nice complexion.